Okay, Eden Zero, chapter number 194. Hermit fans, this is your chapter. Well, the next one is more like it, but this one is your chapter as well. And I guess Ivory fans as well, they got the cover. But we got Hermit, so who do you think got the most? Like Ivory fans, Hermit fans, or Whis? I'd go with Whis. So, in the previous chapter, Killer and Clown infiltrate the Eden Zero. This is like the third time it has been infiltrated at a time where you would expect the guard to be the highest. I guess the defenses are just useless. Like, why do you even have them yet? Like, they're useless. Yes, first they get infiltrated in Drecken's Island into his ship, where you should have been on guard. Then Shira shows up and kills her, and then this. So someone is gonna die. Who might that be? Rebecca. Because the cover of volume 20. Anyway, so Laperia is scared for her life more. Oh, and Killer is just like, shh, no need for screaming. You're going to end up dead either way. And Clown is like, oh, stop it. Oh, stop, little kill. You put far too little thought into the aesthetics when it comes to death. And they're like Clown's and Killer's ideals for death are a bit different. Because, Killer is like mental torture. It's just like psychological attacks, what he did with Whis. But Killer is more like make the death as flashy as you can. So they don't really agree on like the way of killing. But Moskai shows up, and I have a feeling Moskai is the strongest person in Eden Zero. I know he's practically a joke in every sense of the word. But the do not press button still kinda is like, I'm hoping it's something epic. Because every time he's about to he never actually goes out of his way to press it. He just does it whenever he's in a bench. That much you have noticed? Yeah, it was in this chapter as well. Ivory always stops him at the last moment. Why? So I assume the do not press is like Sakamoto. From Sakamoto days, he fights for a while and then he loses all of his weight, which aside from him being an ex-mercenary, living a normal life and him being allowed to do that, is the most unrealistic thing in manga. I can believe Luffy punching out an island, but I cannot believe Sakamoto did that. So yeah, anyway, I think that's what Moscow's ability is gonna be. Yeah, because from heroes, we kinda know he's the counterpart for Guardian. He's also counterpart from someone from Rave. Not Red Rave. Anyway, get to the Hermit already. Ready? So, Moscow shows up and he's like, I'm gonna stop you. And he tells Lipilia, that was a bad choice to leave that room. And Clown says, oh, your sister's valet. And he says, no, I'm her minion. And Clown's like, I said something better than that, and he's like, no, I'm her minion. And Moscow is particular about things, so who cares? Yes, anyway, Kokuchu shows up and is like, okay, idiot, get in that room now. And Moscow is there looking sort of cool. Olen is like, I'm gonna deal with you, I'm gonna fight you. And he's about to push the do not push button, and then Ivory just comes out of nowhere from behind him. It's like, don't push that button, you filthy pig. And Moscow does oink, and doesn't do shit. That's why I assume Moscow has some secret powers. He's gonna kill Ziggy. And both Sister and Hermit show up. Hermit shows up. I was so disappointed when I first read this chapter because I thought fake rumors, fake spoilers, fan art. Right? But now it actually turns out I was just too soon in it. It's so yeah. Sister and Hermit show up and Ivory in her usual way says And yeah, you wanted to see us, you little brats. And hermit is there as well, like boarding without authorization. You won't get away with that. Yeah, they won't get away with that. Like Shira got like an entire planet blown on him. They won't get away with that. And I'm pretty damn sure Shiki can blow up a planet at this point. Not that sure, but I think he can. And like Ziggy certainly can. He can just like summon bombs. Or like if he can open a big enough warp hole, he can just like teleport the planet to a black hole. Are there black holes in Eden Zero? Probably there. And so, yeah. Jin and the others are like handling the front lines, and Holly is there too. We do not see them in this chapter. Clown says, well, this saves us the trouble of finding you. Sister says like, alright, it's been a while since I've gotten into bust some heads. And Hermit kinda just like, she's on point. She's like, battle trust, equip. And this is the point where I was expecting that design to show up, but when I first read the chapter, I'm like, isn't there supposed to be something else? And I'm like, okay, it was at the end of the chapter, so it was there. Not sure how badass it's gonna be, but V's got a W. V's got a W, yeah. Hermit says like, we will now eradicate all enemies on board. And Sister is like, I sentence you to remodeling. I'll turn you both into carpenters. Crappers. I doubt you should have clown or killer as a crapper. Crapper is a toilet, by the way. And clown is essentially like, you vulgar woman. And killer is like, use your aesthetics to pretty her up in death if you want to. But clown is like the counterpart of Ivory, right? It was explained, but I forgot. And we don't not see the fight right away, but Leonard's airspace and like Elsie's fleet members are fighting with like Holly's fleet members. Like, what the hell is Justice doing here? You betrayed us, didn't you? And they're like, we did not do shit. We did everything we can to like stop them from firing on you guys and like prevent it. And we can't do about it. We don't know how he got here, but he got here. And like we see all the Irashians who are here. Justice's ship, Angel Feather, and the big guy there. I forgot his name as well. I forget names all the damn time. Him, and he says like, attention all ships. As of now, Elsie's fleet plus the Eden Zero have joined forces with Holly. Justice's orders are to treat them as friend fleet ships. And Eraser's ship, the Hot Eye, is essentially like, roger that. And Feather's ship, Ricer, is also there, and she's like, but he knows if we don't shoot, we'll be shot at, right? No, not entirely, like he's just telling you not to shoot at Elsie's ships. You can shoot at the dragons all you want. And then there's Kyo's ship, the Brain Dust. And as I have previously speculated, Kyor is probably a healer. You might be thinking healers aren't all that strong. Technically, this guy is a healer. I'm gonna cut that out. And Kyor says like, first we'll take care of these dragons Aknoela has unleashed. He's so epic fighting with dragons! Killing more dragons than ever died in fairy tale. Probably not. And Elsie and Justice are there in that room. And Elsie, this conversation is like really funny. Every conversation with Elsie and Justice is kind of like, it's funny. And Elsie says like, how long are you going to make me sit here like this? And Justice says like, normally I would have restrained your legs and neck as well. Be glad I will tied your hands behind your back. And Elsie with the post LCX Justice response, now I'm referring to how I'm dressed. Do prisoners not have the right to wear clothing? And Justice probably just realizing the fact what she's wearing. And Elsie is also not going to leave Justice alone. One, because why the hell would she? He's just like, what are you blushing for, James? Are you only just realizing that an innocent maiden in sitting before you is half naked? Kid, and Justice was previously looking at her, but currently is looking down. That's something, I guess. In his position, there's only one thing. So, he says, like, innocent maidens don't turn into pirates. But they sense something, and James kind of goes out and, like, something's coming. And Elsie says, like, this isn't good. Like, at least he's like, get rid of these restraints. And I won't last like 10 seconds without it then. And he sees like just dragons everywhere. And Aknoela is there looking for them. And as I previously said, Aknoela is probably not gonna die. Is gonna show up in the next arc or sometime. And because we need villains. It's said like only half of the story is done. We need villains. Further down the line. But as for deaths, Rebecca, I'll make a separate video on why that makes sense as to why Rebecca will die. Comment down if you want that. And we switch to Shiki, who's like just running around, and he contacts Pino. Previously, where like remember where Shiki had a scar? Now there's a communicator. And he talks to Pino. It gives him the location of her and Happy. They're at the same place, and Rebecca and Wheeze. So he goes there, and he's still in like Killer's domain, something, and he has like more memories flood into his head of Keller and Hermit this time, and I do not care what Keller's fate is. He got the biggest L in the entire Eden Zero story. He lost it. He lost everything. Literally everything. Because of Ziggy. Now I don't really know why they would even agree to become bots to begin with. But let's just have like 2 minutes of silence for what Keller could have had.
A few moments later.
Plus Hermit is really adorable in that school uniform. And they're both having a conversation, and essentially what Keller says is like when the ether hits a particular critical point, it goes into overdrive, and he's referring to like maybe non-living things can go into overdrive as well. This might be foreshadowing for Shiki sending the entire damn Leonard planet into overdrive. Because as we have established, Leonard is a living planet. That much clear. Now a living planet going into overdrive, not a human, a planet into overdrive. Destruction is gonna be everywhere. And plus, if this theory is actually true, what about Eden Zero? What about Ethereon? That is on Eden Zero. Like if they can go overdrive, they can beat anyone. And I don't care what Justice has got, they can beat anyone. But then again, this goes same way for Justice as well. So I don't know. And then we have like the final parts of the chapter where Clown, Killer versus Hermit and Ivory. They are there. And Killer is like running sub-dimension program. And he's like trying to play his usual tricks with Hermit, who is like, she can hack Google, hacked like this. Yes, and so like his normal like sub-dimension program doesn't work because Hermit just decodes it entirely early, and like she says like, no you don't, and scene manager disabling code, and Killer is essentially surprised by this. It says like she can just dispel that. And then she says like, amateur, do you really think you can beat me without even changing into battle dress? Yes, and Killer just has like a smirk on his face and is like, do you think you can beat me with a little wardrobe change? And I'm designed to access the superior power of overdrive. tries to go into overdrive. He's almost like into overdrive. He's in the middle of that middle part of overdrive and human android, I guess. Yes, and it's like, but Hermit beats him to it. And she says like, so was I. Even like, this is obviously referring to the fact that Hermit Killer says like, I am designed to access the superior power of overdrive. Hermit says like, so am I. And this is the design. I do not care what's the next chapter. Can we just have this fight? And it's probably not gonna be serious. Like, if you're expecting serious fight in this design, forget it. It's not serious. It's not gonna be serious at all. That much is for surety. But it's gonna be epic. Like, plus, in like all Hermit fights essentially are just like one-sided beatdowns. Mostly, they are. Yeah, and I'm excited for that because Whis got his ass handed to him by Killer. And, well, Rebecca got beaten by a clown. Wonder how Homer will do. Homer will probably win. Because it's like, after the time skip, everyone loses! Except Shiki, like, no one got stronger. But, like, Rebecca got overdrive, which turned out to be useless. Yes, but we haven't really seen what her ability is in the overdrive. Is it just like cat speed? Because Cat Leaper is better than that in a normal form. So let's just see. Rebecca will probably get back up sometime in the future. But fighting really isn't what she's here for. She's here to get the planet devoured. So I'm gonna go make that video as to why Rebecca will die. I need to think of some stuff for that. And anyway, if you're watching still, why? Like, why are you here? Here, I would have clicked off a long while ago. So anyway, so if you're still here, thanks for being here. Please subscribe so that you can watch my Why Rebecca Will Die video. It's gonna be gruesome, but fun as well. It's a fun theory, so it's gonna be fun. Bye.